Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to The Rock Show with Connor Farrell, where we're blowing up bands and bringing rock to fans. Today, for fans of Muse and Queens of the Stone Age, we have Smother Nature. Cue intro. Okay, now that we're back from the intro, let's start off with some rapid-fire questions before delving deeper. Okay, we're going to go one by one. We're going to go, Mark, what's one of the first bands you remember, getting into? Real quick.
Yeah, it was definitely Muse. Yeah.
Okay, now what's one good song for people who don't know Muse?
Citizen Erased.
Okay, and now, Bobby, same question. What's one band that you remember getting into?
I remember Foo Fighters.
Ooh, now one good song for the uninitiated?
Stacked Actors.
What album is that? I have no clue what that is.
Do we have
the one after Color in the Shape, whatever that's called. The one that's got like just the tattoo on the back of the neck. It's not There Is Nothing Left to Lose. It is There Is Nothing Left to Lose.
There's nothing left to lose.
Because I'm thinking of Echo, Silence, Patience, and Grace is like the other album with those colors. Yeah.
I know the singles. Okay. Alex.
I'm gonna go with Queen. Queen and Roger Taylor in particular is literally the reason that I play drums. And for a song, I'm gonna go Great King Rat. I'm gonna be a hipster. The same one that
is that off the first record?
It is off the first record. Yeah.
I see you, cuz.
Great song.
Now that I've demonstrated that I'm hip to the kids using lingo, we're gonna move on to the next rapid fire question. What is one of your newer favorite artists? Once again, Mark, we'll start with you.
Probably Wand. They're amazing.
Wand. How the heck do you spell
SoCal.
Wand?
W-A-N-D.
Oh.
Corey
And
Hansen.
D? I go W-A and a D?
Oh,
my God.
yeah, you get all.
Okay,
four.
now what's one good song for Wand? Because I've never heard of him.
I would probably say Charles de Gaulle off of Plum. Great record, fantastic. They're so
Charles de Gaulle.
Yeah, he's a historical figure, French guy.
Wicked. Ew, French. Ew. Okay. No, I love French people. Audience, I love you, especially if you're young and female and French. And I also like old French men for different reasons, but they're nice people. I like French people. I also dislike some people. They happen to be French. It's not really the French thing that determines like or
There's
dislike.
no correlation. No.
Yeah, there's no correlation. There might be some causation. Now, Bobby, what's one newer band you're into?
Newer band. I don't listen to a ton of newer bands.
Yeah. What's one you just got into? A band you just started figuring out. It could be AC/DC. Like,
I actually did just get into Queens of the Stone Age, but that's kind of what I just got into.
So give me one you would recommend for people who don't know Queens.
Song for the Dead.
Great
Song for the Dead. Now, is Song for the Dead the down?
That's it.
Yeah.
Okay, because Song for the Death is a down. That's
right.
Okay, Alex, one band you just got into. Go.
All right. My most recent musical obsession is a band called Sleep Token that they're probably really sick of hearing me talk about. They're they're like alt metal and a million other genres at the same time.
Okay.
Very, very cool. Very, very unique.
Give me a song, dude.
I'm gonna go with "Take Me Back to Eden." It's a long one. I think it's 8 minutes and 20 seconds, but it earns every second. It's a beautiful song.
Take Me Back to Eden. Now, how would I find Eden? How would I navigate to that on a
You gotta ask Vessel. He's a
Vessel?
singer. Yeah. So they're an anonymous band. The singer's name is Vessel, and everybody else is a number. And they wear costumes and whatever.
It's like Hatsune.
Yeah, like there's rumors, but in general, like nobody actually knows who they are.
It's like Bitcoin.
Yeah,
I think they're doing what Ghost was doing for a while, but like they're actually doing it because I think everybody knows who Ghost is.
So So now we're gonna get into where the show goes off the rails. All I know is that Ghost has really good branding, and then their songs are like cool sometimes, and other times they're like really boring, but they always have the aesthetic on point.
Yeah, we're not big. Yeah.
Are we allowed to disparage?
Have you listened? Well, I would encourage you not to openly diss other bands, but if you'd like to, I'm not going to stop you either.
Best band ever, dude.
Dude, I love Ghost. Ghost is my
favorite.
Their last record was good. If you heard the song 20s, there's like a wicked like guitar solo that sneaks up with a key change out of nowhere. It's like
I like the key change.
It
Dude, I know so
surprised
many
me.
people that just wear their clothes, like their branding is so good. Like, and they're like, I've never heard of them, but they have cool shit. It's like, yeah.
Okay, let's get to the real thing. So this is the real deal now. How do you think about how does like fashion and all of the other stuff that's not the music? Because we can sit here and talk about music all day, and that's great. But I'm certain you guys are good at music and have good taste and are making good music. That's not going to be a limiting factor in your career. It's all the other stuff. It's the branding, the marketing. It's the where do you play? It's the what are your songs about? Who the hell is going to listen to your music? How the hell are they going to find your music? So like, how do you approach balancing? I don't know, like social media. I just give you a big bunch of things. Give me your philosophy in the band. What's your goal with the band? What are you trying to achieve? How do you want to achieve it?
I think that right now, that stuff is like 80% of playing music. Like you look at some artists right now and like their music is like okay, but it's how they present themselves. And I think that is like something that we unfortunately have accepted. And we do some like we do our own designs for t-shirts and stuff like that. We're kind of just getting started with that stuff, but
And yeah, we together have only been doing this for 3 months.
mhm.
So, we're still in the earlier stage of it, but how it affects the music, well, in today's day and age, yeah, everybody gets up, they get dressed in the to the nines.
Bobby wears a Pink Floyd shirt.
Yeah.
Every time. But people get dressed up and they look all sexy and they go do their thing, and it's not as much about the music or what it's about. Or
Yeah.
I kind of find a lot of pop songs today to be very generic, whereas like Queens of the Stone Age or even just Queen in general, they talk about just a little bit more specific things, but something that kind of relates to me more just as a person, because we're trying to do as much as we can with our lives.
I think, dude. I mean, even Queen was very boisterous with their how they look, how they present themselves.
Definitely.
Yeah. So I think again, I think anyone who is like a serious musician nowadays has unfortunately accepted the fact that you are going to sink unless you play into that whole thing.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'll give you an interesting thing because I often find this. I don't know if you do, but with bands sometimes I'll see the album art and be like, it's so cool that I'm like, I hope this is good
Yeah.
because the album art is so cool. And then I'm willing to put an effort, especially if it's an acquired taste, like nasally vocals or something like that, or like let's say like Megadeth. When I first heard it, I couldn't stand like Dave Mustaine's voice and his
The
singing.
Weasel.
But I was
I love him, but
exactly.
he's an absolute
But
weasel.
now it's like fun and endearing. But I wanted to. I was like willing to listen through that to get to hear all the cool riffs and the cool songwriting. And
Some of the greatest
so
soloing.
kind of likewise for people who may not be into your genre or haven't started listening to rock music, having a cool aesthetic, having a cool thing might be able to like get them to be willing to actually stick it out.
Absolutely. I totally agree.
And I think something maybe you're hitting on with Queens of Stone Age that I kind of think about is this idea of you don't need to have no substance. You know, I mean, that's what we want to avoid. It's the substance, but it's also like the packaging is important because it sets up an initial expectation that you can either subvert to a certain extent or play into, to a certain extent. And so, it's like if you show up wearing a leather jacket, they're like, okay, hopefully they have distorted guitars and not just reverb and clean tones. And you're like, what the hell did I get into? Instead, it's like rock and roll music, yay! Instead of like indie, whatever. I'm sorry, guys, enjoy that stuff. You artists who make that, you guys are great. I love you. I'm just not going out of my way to listen to it when I could go and listen to Queens of the Stone Age or Guns N' Roses or even Bon Jovi or anything.
They love Guns N' Roses. They can talk about them all night.
So
The biggest fan.
I think it's a double-edged sword because if you roll up with the leather jackets and you don't like deliver, then you look like an even bigger idiot than you would have without a leather jacket on, So I think there's some like fear in that too.
See, I think
Biggs.
hard like thing with that is I think we have a very, I guess, grunge aesthetic, which is like not an aesthetic. Other than, bro's wearing a leather jacket
Yeah,
right
yeah.
now,
Yeah,
but
this is
like,
the first
but like,
time,
we don't be pulling up in, with the Aquanet and the spandex,
right.
or I don't know, we don't look like we play like that heavy of music, but we might have some pretty heavy songs that I didn't expect to be as heavy as they
have become.
ended up being. Yeah, I don't know. I think we might be a wolf in sheep's clothing sometimes with that.
That's a good.
Woof.
I think that's a really good way to say it.
Woof woof.
Wolf, wolf, dude.
There's two woofs inside you. One of them is wearing a leather jacket. I'm not saying which one.
That is actually my leather jacket. I just gave it to him. So
Literally.
I guess there's three woofs inside you then.
This is the first time he's ever worn a leather jacket ever.
This is
First
way, I've tried to pull off leather jackets so much, and like it's gonna happen. It just has not happened yet. It is not
Yeah,
happening.
you gotta
not
wait.
gotta find the right one.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Now I can pull off an ascot. People come up to me. I'm like a puppy at shows now. Like even if they don't know me, and they're just like, "Can I touch it?" I'm like,
Did I ever ask if you're trying to be Fred from Scooby Doo?
I used to always get that. And then I went
You
to
got
one. And I
blonde
think
hair.
everyone was
Yeah,
so
yeah.
high. They were so high. They didn't even say it.
Right.
They didn't even
But you
say it.
understood.
See it.
Yeah.
Deep in the soul, I asked him. I said, "Are you going to ask me if I'm Fred from Scooby Doo now?" This is the part in the show where you ask me, and they didn't. I was surprised. Like, ooh.
Oops.
Yeah. To be fair, that man had phalluses drawn on his shirt, all over, and so that was very curious. Okay, so we can nerd out about Queens of the Stone Age for a little bit, but before we do, I do want to kind of talk about this idea of intentionality, right? It's like if you can write tons of good songs, well, which ones do you actually want to record? Because when you go to record something and mix it and put a thing out and promote it for a while, you know what I mean? Like, that's a lot of work. That's like months worth of work or hours and hours and days that you're not like rehearsing. You're not doing other things. So it's like, how do you intentionally choose what you're going to throw all your energy behind?
I think there is a certain point when you are writing, or when I am personally writing, when we have been writing, that we found some songs that we think sound good together. And then we were kind of, I wouldn't say ready to go straight into it, but we have been ready to start paving the road in order to get there.
I mean, we have like a pretty huge vault of songs. I mean, Bobby's got 1 million on the Google Drive that we'll be pulling from that vault forever. Mark has songs. I have songs. With this, at least the release that we're planning on putting out this year, we wanted to, without being too disjointed, cover as many genres as we can, because we're a bunch of guys that like 1 million different genres, and we want to, we don't want to be the same thing forever.
Don't want to be confined.
So we wanted this to have a lot of variety. So we were looking like, what's a fast song we could do? What's a slower one? What's kind of a funkier one?
Yeah, it's like a taste tester, I guess.
Yeah, like when you go out to eat, sometimes people order appetizers first. Let's say you have a 5-course meal. They bring you your little soup and salad. They might bring you your appetizer next. They might bring you
your cheesecake.
Yeah.
Then they might bring you the full entree. And they might bring you all of these little things that add up to the big thing, but they're all different in their own right, and we'd like them to stay that way, so that we can dive wherever we want to with the music.
I think also this is a very different setup for all three of us because we all write, and it's very exciting because we like write really well together as well. So like somebody will bring in an idea, and then we will just like it'll be hours will go by. And we like, well, we should probably take a break, So I think that...
I mean, that's kind of what happened today.
Yeah, I mean, it even happened today.
We were supposed to be rehearsing for our next gig, but then we were like, hey, what if we do this on this song?
Yeah.
And now they're all completely different.
It's a tough balance, though, deciding what to release because obviously, like, it does have to have intention, like you said. You know, it can't just be like, oh, well, you know, this sounds cool. I mean, you could do that, but I don't think that's how we do things. You know?
Yeah, we kind of sit down and it's like, oh, this is going this way.
Mm-hmm.
And each of us are feeling it going this way. And sometimes Alex is the one leading the song into that new direction. Sometimes it's Mark. Sometimes it's me. But we kind of just sit around the round table and figure out where to lead the march.
Okay. That's where you lead the march. No, that's yeah, it's interesting. How do you thinking about balancing rehearsing and creating, right?
Mm-hmm.
I kind of have this thought. I think, you know, people off topic slightly, but people talk about AI and music, right? And they're like, "Oh, AI is going to replace it." I'm like, at the end of the day, the reason people like music is the story.
Yes.
You know what I mean? They connect with people and stories. They don't connect with, if they know it's not real, there's no stakes. There's no excitement. There's no nothing, right? You know, and that I think a similar thing is people will be like, like if someone's not playing something online in a video where they're like shredding on guitar really fast, they're like, you just sped that up. It's because there's no stakes. There's no there's no drama. There's no I mean, that's why I think as things get more technologically advanced, we care less about the technical and we care more about the personal. That's why like reality TV and like TikToks and podcasts and all these things are much bigger than even like scripted stuff. And so that's where like it's kind of, I think that or I find that there's an idea that I kind of come back to, that when you're playing music, every single time you play it, it's a different instantiation of the same kind of overall idea for a song, but you're actually creating the song again every time you play it. You're recreating it. Always gets created, almost like a memory is always, you know, inaccurate because you remember something differently and you create something, you fill in the gaps. And so
make
likewise,
a different mistake every time we play the song.
Yeah.
I mean, but that's exactly right. Like how you just said, like it's kind of like a happy accident kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like today, we literally like Alex was like goofing around, and we were like, "Oh, wait, that actually sounds really cool." So we stuck with it. But I think that you're completely right. I feel like the more processed things become, the more raw things also become. You know.
Every action has a reaction.
Yeah, it's counterculture. I mean, it's been like that through you know forever. But you know, whatever Aristotle said. You know,
strong times make weak men, make bad music, make people who really want to hear good music.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. It absolutely is true. I mean, you know, we're goofing around about it, but it is true. Yes.
And no goofing about music here, bro. No goofing. Okay. Favorite Queens record. Let's go, Mark, and then let's go Alex.
What their favorite Queens record? They have bad answers.
No, shut up.
His ranking is horrible.
Wait, give me the ranking. Mark, give me your entire ranking. No one interrupt. Mark, go.
No, entire ranking? Okay,
Number
so
one, first one.
Let me go through our Discord. How about we do a top 5? Is that cool? You want to do a whole ranking?
Dude, they
rank all of them now.
All right, here we go.
Rank them.
Number 1 is Lullabies to Paralyze. My favorite.
Okay, good.
Number 2 is definitely gonna be Funny Enough. I like their first record second best.
Okay.
Because it's raw.
This is gonna break us up.
And then third record, third is In Times New Roman. I really like that record. The
wow.
Yeah.
Interesting.
4, I'd probably put Era Vulgaris.
Okay. Very interesting.
Songs for the Deaf.
Okay.
And then, I mean, people really connect with Clockwork, but I love Clockwork. I think it's a masterpiece, but it's just not something that I personally.
What's
you know,
after,
I mean, like, I like every single one of these records. It's just personal.
Yeah.
You know, it's a personal thing.
But let's be real. I mean, if you could only have Lullabies or like Clockwork, it's not a question.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
for sure.
It's not a question.
That's not a question. Yeah, okay. It would be like Clockwork.
So that was top 5. Mm-hmm. Okay. You know, we'll just stick with top 5. Alex, give me your top 5.
All right.
In order.
So it's going to take way too long if I try to like actually rank it in order, but I can give you the 5. So I'm going to go. Like Clockwork is my number 1.
Okay, Clockwork.
I didn't get into Queens until like very later in life, so I didn't get started on like Rated R, Songs for the Deaf. Like I discovered them as like the singles for like Clockwork were coming out. Like, you know, My God Is the Sun, and stuff
Yeah.
like that. So that will always be my number one. Also, in general, I just think it's a perfect album. Like I can listen to that all the
Okay.
way through
It is.
and skip nothing. You don't think that? You say it's top heavy every time.
It is a little top heavy. I think that the first half is like all the good shit. You know.
All right, I will say songs for the deaf. That's that's the easy one, but it's that way for a reason. And then for the next three, people, I would say that Era Vulgaris is very underrated because I feel like that's always on the very bottom of people's album rankings, and I think that's dumb. 666, Battery Acid. There's plenty of incredible songs on that one. Villains. That was when I like peak Queen's fandom. Their I guess second to last album. That was when I was the most, I don't know, when I was the biggest fan of them that I've been in my life is when that album came out. So that one's special. And then,
More.
yeah, Lullabies.
Lullabies. Okay. Now fight.
Their first album is not that good.
It is. It is. The
Wait,
song's
so let's see.
fine.
Wait. Before I sanction this fight, sorry, I shouldn't have. Let's go where you guys agree. And so Lullabies is on both, right?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Songs for the Deaf on both. Okay, not surprising. Era Vulgaris also on both, which I'm very happy to see.
Yeah.
You guys have the right opinion. Actually, the wrong opinion because it's their best album, but arguable. Arguable.
It is
Wait, are
arguable.
you saying Era's their best?
I think I like Lullabies more, but it's got too many songs that like I would Era Vulgaris, I'm skipping less things if I'm in a mood. You know what I mean? Lullabies for Paralyzed, I think, is a better aesthetic to a record,
Yeah.
but sometimes you're not in the mood for fucking Broken Box or Skin on Skin.
Yeah.
Oh, look,
Yeah,
I
Skin on
swore. Who
Skin,
gives a
Someone's in the
But
Great song.
who gives a shoot? Who gives a freaking heck and shoot? Okay, so I was gonna say my two are probably Lullabies, Era Vulgaris, and then shoot. Let me write these down so you guys can like pillage me and we can see. I got to do a three-way reference. Okay, Era. Okay, I got it. Wait 1 second. Guys, talk amongst yourself.
Knock knock.
What? Who's there?
I
I feel like I had nothing.
Terrible. Can't even get that right, Alex. Come on,
Hey,
dude.
we've only played 3 gigs. We're not media trained, all right? We don't know what we're doing here.
Not a single clue. We just get up here and we hang. We have fun.
We
Hope
have,
for the best.
crippling social anxiety.
Yeah.
All of us.
No,
I'm scared.
I gotta go.
Right. So, wait.
I think the thing about Queens though is that like if anyone like any record, if somebody was like that's my favorite, like I would be like, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like they don't have a bad record. All of them are good. Shut up.
The first one's not.
No,
that
the
great.
first one is amazing.
I would have
honestly-
to disagree with you, Alex.
Yeah. They love the first album.
I'm new to Queen.
They love Queens of the Stone Age's equivalent to Pablo Honey.
Bro, that's not even true. That's not even
literally completely true.
true. No, it's not.
I'm struggling really. So I know Lullabies and Era are like my top 2.
Mm-hmm.
I've got 4 left that I need to pick 3 from. I've got Villains, Rated R, Self-Titled, and Songs for the Deaf. I'm trying to figure out which one to kill. You know, I can't kill
think you
Songs for
killed
the
the
Deaf
new record.
though. I can't kill Songs for the Deaf. Oh, I already killed the new record. Oh, I already killed that one.
Oh, okay.
Long ago.
Really?
It is good.
I think it's great.
I
dude.
like it.
I love
It's
it.
a good record. It's not better than
I
Songs for
love
the
it when
Deaf
it
or
came
Rated
out.
R.
It grew on me. I think
It's not better than Villains.
No,
Villains
it's
is
not.
better than the new one for sure.
It's
1,000%.
literally
Oh,
Feet Don't Fail Me is a baller. That is a baller song, dude.
baller song.
do you want to
Banger.
go through the track list of Villains and just go track by track, Villain and in Times New Roman? It doesn't compare.
I don't know,
Times
dude.
New Roman is cool, and I'm happy they still rock, but it's
Yeah.
not nearly as good as Villains. Even though the production's wonky on Villains,
Oh, I
it's
hate
still
the
those are
production.
rock. Those are harder rock songs. Like that
Yeah.
band is a rockier band. Bobby, top 5 Green Day albums. Let's include Bobby.
He's wearing a Green Day T-shirt. You better
Give
hurry
me
up,
5.
dude.
Give me 5 good ones. Try and go in order.
Do me a solid. Pull them up.
Yeah, I got
that
you.
can
I'm
think
thinking about like my ranking too.
Pull them up. I need Bobbert.
Top 1 is American Idiot. Has
Oh
to be.
my god.
That's
Mostly
fair.
because
Oh,
I
my
come
God,
from a
yeah.
theater background.
Oh,
And
true.
that-
Oh, same.
Yeah,
you do.
Yeah. I mean, technically, I did musical theater in high school for a little bit.
Like the classic,
Like
starting
4
with
or 5 plays or something.
That's cool.
Yeah,
but that kind of got you to where you are now on stage playing.
No. No, I was doing that, and I was doing that at the same time. I was just playing in bands and stuff.
Gotcha.
But I was like, I wanted to do it because it's fun.
Yeah.
Okay, give me these Green Day
So,
There
records.
so
you
yeah,
go.
American Idiot.
Okay.
I would say
Insomniac.
I was gonna say
That's always been my favorite.
Nimrod.
Yeah.
Ooh,
For me, it was Kerplunk would be 3 because
wow.
I used to listen to that when I was first getting into just the whole rock music
Yeah.
thing because I was a theater nerd.
Now give me your story. Wait,
So,
let's take a detour. Theater story. How did you get into music as a theater man?
As a theater kid, I
heard Chris Cornell.
so
Show
yeah.
me the blah 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 blah.
That I'm down on my knees.
Again.
So how I got here? Well, when I was in 3rd grade or 4th grade, my mom asked me if I wanted to be in a musical. So I was in The Little Mermaid, and I
Who were
played
you?
sailor in the front of the ship, and I was a sea turtle. And then I did like 40 or 50 something musicals throughout the next 10 to 15 years. I know my no, that was not 15 years. It was 10 years. But on my when I was 18, I got into a car accident, and I crashed my dad's truck, and I was listening to Master of Puppets by Metallica, but the really theatrical version of it.
There's a really theatrical version of
Yeah,
Master
they have
Puppets.
a. Is it? I don't. I think they're playing with the San Francisco.
Oh, the
Symphony
orchestra one.
Orchestra.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Yeah, and so like to hear that, and then I kind of went through a couple of things, and I was still doing theater, but I wasn't having as much fun with it. When I heard that and that particular thing happened to me, I realized that I would like to, if I'm going to do something with my life, I would like to do something that I love to do. And I want to be myself at the same time. Like if you're in theater, you're always playing somebody else. You're always being somebody that you technically aren't. But when I started listening to that music and got into that thing, and I started writing myself, I was like, oh, I want to like just be me on stage, and this is a way that I can do that. And I had already I'd played tuba growing up, and I played a couple different instruments, so just tried it out.
We're not laughing at you, Bobby. We're making each other laugh.
No, I'm with you, Bobbert. Bobbert. Okay, so Bobby, okay, well that's crazy. You crashed the car and you're like, oh, that's a good sign. No,
Yeah, right.
I mess with you. I mess with you. But that's crazy. Okay, so you must be like incredibly, incredibly good because you did 40 or 50 musicals. Did I get that right?
Yeah, I was in a bunch of them, and I was trying to learn as much as I could because I wanted to be an actor.
Yeah.
And I wanted to
Acting.
possibly be on Broadway. Yeah, actor. You wanna, you know,
thought you said Hector
you're
for a second.
watching movies, you're
Hector.
watching different
Last chance to
videos
look at the
online,
actor.
seeing people and watching what they're doing. And I did, and it was just fun for a while.
Who was one of your favorite actors that you learned something from watching their performances?
I would say
Pauly Shore.
I really like
Like the
Ah,
situation.
dude, Polly Shore.
I really like Samuel L. Jackson.
Who-
I love that guy.
What'd you learn
That's
from him?
the only thing. He's in my top 10.
But what'd you learn from him acting wise that maybe you still use today?
That that humor is your best friend.
Hmm.
Because
does-
when
I think swearing is his best friend.
even if swearing might be his best friend, but that's how he makes people laugh sometimes.
It is.
Mhm.
And if you can take a serious situation and make somebody laugh, they might even understand the severity of the situation more
Yeah.
because they're seeing it that way. And
Humor is
if
your
you can
best
phrase it in a way or portray it in a way that to get it through to them,
Man.
then
So how does that kind of influence how you're approaching writing songs and performing on stage?
Well, sometimes, so you want to talk about a serious topic.
Yes,
Sometimes you're
super good.
writing.
Yeah.
Sometimes you're saying like, so in one of our songs, one of
Yeah.
the lyrics is, "What if you off yourself?" Not,
Yeah.
I didn't say the exact words, but
Yeah. Self delete.
yes, self delete exactly. Um, and so sometimes, there's other things you can say around that
Yeah.
to make. It's all part of a story. So some
Yeah.
things are going to be funny and some things are going to be serious.
And that's the funny part,
And
right?
exactly, that's the funny
No.
part. But you can have the funny side and your dark side. I don't know. There's
Yeah.
It's hard to say how you would put it into it because right now with what we're doing, it's a little
Yeah.
bit more on the serious side, I guess.
Yeah. Well, I guess
But
broadly speaking, how do you take things from acting, or what things have you seen that cross over that you've been able to use that
okay,
influence your approach?
yeah, that's
Yeah.
okay. I think that's a great question to ask. Um,
Thank you.
so with the crossover, like
Yeah.
I don't know, being able to have facial expression, being able to be aware of your fellow castmates. Technically, these are my castmates.
Facts.
So to be with each other and we are all putting on a performance.
Mhm.
You kind of said earlier, what are the things outside of the music that make a
Yeah.
show? And I think that being a player and being a performer are two different things.
Mm-hmm.
I think
I was gonna say. I mean, even from somebody who doesn't act, there's it's performing. Like it's not just I'm hitting a drum. You just get in a certain mood, and
Mhm.
you look and you move in ways that you wouldn't.
you wouldn't normally do because, or not you wouldn't normally, but you wouldn't if we're all just practicing together, hanging out, because there are people there and they want to see something more. They are not there just to hear the same thing that they heard online, just the same thing that they just listened to on Spotify or whatever. They're not there just to listen to that. They're there to see more. On Saturday, we were in a Battle of the Bands competition, uh, and this band, the Goodbyes, won. Shout out to them.
Yo,
But when we were on stage, Mark and I were like just dancing and and flopping around and doing not dumb things, but different things that we would normally do.
and I wore a cowboy hat.
You wore a cowboy.
You were a cowboy hat. And it just all of the things that we added to the entire aesthetic of what we were trying to portray, which was that live music is important to us, essentially. And so there's plenty of things that cross over in the body movement, in the facial expression, in which let's say I'm playing this little lick. Well, I might make a face when I play that, and then people are laughing or people are reacting to it.
People are crying.
It's something different. People are crying. Yeah. You could have a lot of different emotion, and we're trying to bring out all of them because that's what performance does, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I'd be interested to get your guys' thoughts on this. So, and this kind of taking off from what you're saying, I think that especially in rock music and just music in general, character is much more important than technicality or your technical facility
yes.
over the instrument, right? And this idea that like performance is way more important than proficiency. Hot take, and to just jump off this, I think someone like David Bowie, especially on the early records, not a technically proficient singer, voice is very like distinct and oftentimes jarring, but has so much character. He's making so many different choices that you just latch on to the fact that it's like real. He's saying
Not to
every
mention
word. He's not
in
singing
those
notes. He's
days,
saying words.
not to mention in those
He's
days
not.
he also was like a character on stage.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like I mean, he did the concept album thing.
Yeah.
That's right, Ziggy Stardust.
Ziggy Stardust.
We went on stage
Yeah.
as Ziggy Stardust. I did the same
Yeah.
thing with Alain Sane.
Yeah,
I mean, he really reinvented himself like that.
I think that the idea of that's like the thing that's so great about and freeing about rock music is that it is really
Yeah.
like people say that Beethoven would have been like a rock music fan because it is
Yeah.
such a raw,
We say that
like
about so many like classical musicians.
but it's
This guy would have made metal
It's
if he was
true, though.
alive now.
but it is true.
I'm sure, yeah.
Yeah.
Shut the hell up. But no.
Oh,
But
We're breaking up in a week. We hate each other.
oh,
But,
you're a dork.
really,
You're a
though.
dweeb. Oh,
it's
DNG.
I'm done.
it's freeing. It is very like
Yeah.
and I think that's like it as a very opposite thing to what Bobby said. I really like the danger of not knowing what I'm gonna play. There are like I'm really into like I really like improvising, and I like when we finish a song and we're like let's play we're looking at each other and we're gonna play a riff and we don't know what the hell we're gonna play. I love that. That's my those are my favorite moments because it's like I don't know what's gonna happen, and the mindset that you are in when you're performing is like you can't get that anywhere else. So, and that's something we've been talking about is that when you perform, it's like a different band. It really is. It's so different. Like, yes, we're practicing and we're rehearsing, but then when we go out on stage, it's
We
like
can't hear each other and we mess everything up.
yeah, we just
Oh
get.
my gosh. It's actually crazy because we couldn't hear for the intro of the show that we just played, but we still came in together and on time. It was insane.
Well, we do. Honestly, like I'm not trying to like say oh we're great, but we work really hard. We really do, and like we
Guys, you better be great. Why the hell am I interviewing you?
yeah, but we do. We
No,
work
seriously,
really
don't
hard.
waste my time. Be great. Be excellent. The Jaspers were really, really good. Why do you think I hit them up? It's not because they're huge on social media. It's because they're really good.
Thank
And
you.
they will be.
Thank you
I mean,
very
they'll
much.
be huge in every aspect. But they
Yeah.
said you guys are good. I took their
Mhm.
word for it because they're way stricter about what good is than
Right.
like most people. So I was like, if they say you're good and I need to have you on, you're coming on.
We
There's
love
no
them.
question about it.
By the way,
So
shout
all
out
that
to
is
the
to say is,
Jazzers.
Shout out.
Yeah.
I would be stunned if you're not amazing.
Oh,
Okay,
thank
so
you.
you better be good. Also, you're wasting my time if you're not good.
Oh
And
yeah,
It's a fact.
that's going to be the driving force to make us get better right now.
get better. Okay, you were on the
We're gonna
Rock Show with Connor Farrell.
We're gonna leave this and immediately go back to practice.
Yeah, I'm going to go practice right now. Actually.
So let's. I like what you were saying about the danger of not knowing what you're going to play. I do want to hear more about that, but I know we're getting to like kind of the end of everything right now. And so what I do want to really kind of get to find out is what's the end goal? Do you guys want to be able to be musicians full time? Does it look like stadiums? Does it look like maybe mid-sized venues? Right? What are you thinking? Is it a certain number of albums per year? Go.
I think. Can I answer?
I have a very quick thing before you answer.
Go ahead.
I used to think that meant, being a musician, original musician meant taking over the world, but that's not true.
We're not opposed to take.
I mean, that's
We're not
fine.
opposed to it, but
Yeah.
it's wherever it takes us.
Yeah.
It's not.
Yeah.
You can have sights in mind,
Mhm.
but they might not always get you to where you thought you were going to be.
I think we would all just be happy making a living off of our music. That's it.
Mhm.
Short answer is
I
that.
think for me,
Yep.
like the most like realistic dream that I have at this point is to be on a level where, like, say we were playing like union transfer-esque venues,
Sure.
Mhm.
In Philly, that's
playing
a Philly
festivals, opening for some bigger
Yeah.
artists.
venue.
Yeah, I mean, if my income could be my music and nothing
Yeah.
else, I don't need a
So-
mansion or a sports car. But if
Right.
No,
music
yeah.
financed what I did have, I would be
Yeah.
happy.
So this is fascinating because my goal is a podcast. I'm like, because here's the thing: is I was like, what's the quickest and like the thing? Basically, if I had a band like you guys, where I had everyone else who was really good and wanted to be there and wouldn't blow me off when I had rehearsals, and then actually, because I realized when I'm doing the band, and every time I do the band, people move, they leave, they don't know what they want in life, they don't know what they're doing, they're not dedicated to the band. They're like, Connor, this is your thing, and I want my own thing, which is all great, and I love that. But insight with me, I picked a number. I was like, this is the number a year I need to make. Being an entertainer, because I did stand up when I was in middle school. I've been playing in bands for the last 7 years. And so 8, I don't know, 8. Anyways, but I realized there's so many things I don't know how to do, which on my biggest limiting factors comes to making album art, mixing things, having other people, right? Writing drum parts. I'm probably going to learn the drums so I can do that, but like how to record the vocals, how to do all that stuff, how to do the production, all these things. And so I realized, what if I just interviewed all? Because I spent like a month. I spent like a month trying to learn all these things, and I would smack my head against the wall, like working 1 month on one song. It still sounds like shit. And so I go, wait a minute, there's a guy who I can pay $50 and he'll basically get me where I need to go, bridge the gap. I don't have the money though. You know what I mean? And I kind of was like, wait a minute. I could just do the podcast, interview these people, help them get clients. They like me. And after a certain point, I'll have money from the podcast and I can work with them. And I can build an audience of people who care about me and want to hear what music I have coming out. And then I can be like, hey, boom. Not only is it better than if I just sat there and tried to do it by myself, I can reach more people. I actually have people who are like waiting to hear the music or at least waiting to give it a chance.
And they might even see the entire process of what you're doing because you get to talk about it every week.
Exactly. And so all this is to say, you don't care about me. You don't care about any of that bullshit. But for me, the number is $100,000. It's $100,000 a year. And so I'm like, once I make that, I'm like, boom, drop everything else I'm doing. I'm in grad school right now. I'm going to drop that. I mean, it's online and it's self-paced, so I can just take it over the course of 6 years instead. And I'll do that because it's fun. But like, if this takes off within 3 months, bye-bye grad school. If this takes off in 5 years, 10 years, great. I would say.
I said if it doesn't, you can start an OnlyFans.
Yeah, no, fuck
So here's the
Kill Mark.
question. You guys, where do you see, do you think it's gigs? What's the thing that you want to have make the money? Like, I guess the main thing, if you define a thing, what's the thing that gets you to that checkpoint of like making a living off of it? Is it the gig money? Is it merch money? Is it like
I think nowadays it's merch money. It's not music.
Merch.
It's not streams.
Yeah.
No.
it's merch money.
It's
but
drip.
I think that we like to play so much that we would like to make a decent living off of the mixture of the merch and us being able to tour.
Merch plus touring.
That's why we all kind of work really well together is that we like genuinely love all aspects of doing this. Like I am like a self-proclaimed artist, so I like to like draw stuff for the band and we make t-shirts off of the stuff that I draw. And
you saw our logo?
Yeah, our logo, I drew that.
Yeah.
And then I love to record and we all love to write and it's like, so yeah, I mean, yeah, I think I think a lot of bands make most of their money now off of it's not streams, it's definitely, touring and merch. So I don't have a problem with that. That's cool, whatever. Like we love to play and I think we put on a really good show, so I think that's probably,
It's like whatever pays the bills.
Yeah, exactly,
Yeah. I love that. I love to hear that. Well, someday hopefully we'll be on tour together.
Oh yeah.
That would be amazing.
Come on over right now, dude. Let's go.
Hey, the instant this podcast is making $100,000 a year, I will drop whatever I'm doing.
Yeah, I mean, look, we all have a contingency too. We're like, if we get such a good opportunity that we can't turn it down, goodbye jobs. Like this is what we want to do. We're in it for the long haul.
And like we all do our individual things besides doing the band.
Yeah.
Like Mark works a full-time job. Alex works a part-time job, and he performs out a lot without us. I do shows along the Jersey coast, just acoustic stuff, getting paid.
Yeah.
Like we all do our own thing, and we would drop all of it.
Yeah. We're waiting for that call, that one day where it's like, okay, it's time,
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean,
what is that called?
I mean, we're definitely looking to build this to a point where we can finally be like, I can quit this job.
So
because
you get a
That call would be, I think I know where you're going with that. So that call would be technically if we're talking like an objective that we have,
Sure,
being
yeah.
able to play out 3 or 4 times a week, being
Mhm.
able to get paid from that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Open for Queens of the Stone Age.
Open for Queens.
Yeah.
For somebody to take us
Yeah.
on tour with them would be cool.
Queens of the Stone
Tour support.
There's many different
Yeah.
ways it could go, but like
Got
we
it.
said before, we don't have a set direction because, well, how can we? Because
Yeah,
we
yeah.
don't know where it's going.
We don't know
Yeah,
yet.
that's always changing. It's never going to be
Yeah.
like a direct thing. I think for us.
Yeah. So here's what I want to ask you guys is I'll give you a piece of info and then that'll be the context, right? So the context is I just interviewed my buddy Rick, who I hadn't seen in a couple of years, and he was telling me about how he runs like a magazine, he does photography, does all these things, but apparently now he's a manager, and the band he's managing were really good, so it was great. I went to their show. I probably be interviewing them in a couple of days from now, but and they just got off a tour, and so I was kind of talking to him like, what's his goal? And really, he's just the manager, but he wants to keep building them, and they really want like touring and gigging, and that's how they want to go about. Essentially, the goal is to make a living off of it, right? And they have the same goal, and they have the same way of doing it, which is touring and gigging. And so he was like, okay, I'm helping them do that, and then the next step is getting more people involved. Someone booking the tours or like more in depth. And so I guess kind of, have you guys thought about maybe getting a manager and that might help you get there quicker or things like that? Because I've never had a manager for a band. I've done everything myself, and I'm finding that collaborating with people has been much more effective. So what are your guys' experiences with that? Have you seen that work for other people? And would you ever think about approaching that to get you there quicker?
People bring people together. That's what they
Mhm.
do. That is what we are meant for. I work. So, like I said, I do acoustic shows outside of this. I work with probably 4, 5, 6 different booking agents. It depends on the time of year. And they all have different connections to all over, but technically I'm not signed to any of them. If we can find somebody that has great connections along the coasts, in the United States, anywhere,
China.
really, worldwide, we wouldn't mind it. But we would like that. We would like the help.
We
know that we can't get it. We know that we can't get where we would want to be.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think any band on like an upward trajectory gets to a point where they're doing so many things that it's impossible to do on your own. You have to bring other people.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing is it's like you get to the point where you are doing more of everything but playing, writing, and recording music, and I think that is a detriment. For us, like, I mean, it would be great to get to the point where that's all we have to worry about. You know what I mean?
It would be cool. So, also, I feel like we wouldn't want to stop having a say in the merch. Or having a say in where we want to play.
Sure, but do or die kind of sucks.
Yeah. So, I guess So, I guess kind of this. I think the thing I'm most curious about is, how would you guys? When is the point where you would say, okay, we need to go get a manager? Is it when the work becomes too much? Or I guess like an agent, would you want to get an agent so then the work is a lot? So then you've got guess is there a way, I don't know, I guess could you get an agent and then that would get you the 3 to 4 gigs per week that you guys,
we could do that right now.
Yeah.
We could do that right now. I know people.
Come get us, dude.
That's true. But I know certain people that if we wanted to do that, then we could. But the problem with that is we would have to be playing cover shows. We would have to be playing other people's music. Now, it's not exactly a problem. We like other people's music, and we have done it.
That's a slippery slope, though.
It is.
Well,
but as long as we can do our show still and put on our songs that we are liking. You're saying what's the point where we'd want to do that? I think that as soon as we get some of this music released, because again, we've only been working together for 3 months. 4 months. Yeah, 4 months now. I guess it's been a couple.
It's been a long time. It's been a long time.
It was like mid-April.
Yeah.
Mid.
Mid.
But,
It's pretty mid.
yeah,
Yeah, we're mid.
But once we get some of that music released,
Yeah.
maybe starting to go out and have other people help us and get us shows, because then we'll have a product.
yeah,
We'll have
Yeah.
a product everybody can see.
You have irrefutable, I guess, typically when they say like photos of a gig and videos of a gig, right? You know, this idea that like, and I joke about it. I posted on my Instagram today. I was like, if you go to the gym but you didn't take a photo, did you really go to the gym? And that's the
right.
thing. Is like if you played a gig but you have no video and you have no songs put out and you have no way, like there really is no evidence after 2-3 years later, right? Like the only evidence I have that I've been playing in my band called Black Licorice for 5 years now is the fact that I have photos from lots and lots of the gigs. Beside that, there is no evidence. And so, okay, so that's interesting. So it's like irrefutable auditory and visual evidence, right? Kind of that idea that you actually have a product now. You have something
Right.
that's real. Like, okay, that's very good. I like that. Okay, well, that's interesting. What
If we can
what
have the
was
thing,
your thoughts? Yeah.
if we can have the thing that's real, like have the
Yeah.
music out, then it's like, okay, well, people go to bands to listen to the music. People go to see bands to listen to music. So once they get that, it's like, then you can go, oh, well, let me go buy some tickets to this show that they're playing, or let me go check what they're doing. They have tie-dye T-shirts that I really like. Let's go buy them.
Mm-hmm.
It's a cycle.
I
What
think
do you
we're
think
very.
about? Yeah.
No, go. You go first.
Okay,
No,
what do you
go.
guys think about? Let's see. Where I have this written somewhere? Let's see, because this is what I wanted to ask about. Okay, so if I could break it into a couple things, let's say recording music, gigging, and social media. Let's see, like, so with social media, what do you think about the idea? Let's say you get someone who knows how to who just follow you around, film you, edit it, and you say, hey, post it and do all the posting. And if it gets to the size where we start getting brand deals from it, you get 50% of the money for, you know what I mean? Like for the first year that we start actually making money from it. Because then maybe that eventually leads to the ticket sales. So even if they make money off the social media, you make money off of the actual tickets being sold to the gig now and the merch being sold at the shows. And so I guess, do you think you guys want to start doing like kind of like dedicating a lot of resources to social media? Because I've kind of seen that be a big way for bands to actually get those tickets sold.
I don't think we have like a,
Yeah.
how do you answer the correct way to answer this is that that's stupid and we want it to be all the music man, but the actual reality of it is that like we're trying to do this, so
social
we're gonna have to do that,
Okay, yeah.
So like we're down, we got our sleeves rolled up, like whatever we got to do to make this work. I don't think there's a lot of things that we would not do to further our career,
Exactly.
We'll make K-pop.
I will make K-pop.
Like if we're getting paid, we'll do it.
Yeah.
Enough said.
Not covers though, apparently.
We do them. We do them.
We do. Oh, we covered Song for the Dead.
What do you think? You do the covers, you make the money, and then you post all the TikToks and videos from it, and then your audience is so big that everyone starts streaming your original music, and then they start buying tickets to your original shows.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So there is that as well. I've had people post like different stuff of me playing out. It's a great feeling, and it can definitely be helpful in getting the following that you need, especially in the area that we're in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because we're right on the coast. We're in New Jersey. We're about an hour from the shore towns. Yeah. So and those always get tourists and people coming through. So
I'll tell you the one place in New Jersey I've been on the shore. Okay. Long Branch, New Jersey.
Long Branch.
Have you been there?
Yeah, it's up there.
Okay.
I have.
I had to drive through there to get to Asbury Park, if I'm correct.
Okay. They had a Gold's Gym there. I was like, what? They have this here? I thought that they didn't have these here. I was very surprised. I didn't go in. I just saw it. And I was like,
I just looked at it. Yeah.
I looked at it longingly.
It was like a unicorn.
I think
What's that doing there?
I think that putting on a crazy show also will do that for you, because people will post videos, and I mean that's actually been great for us.
Yeah.
We've gotten some pretty good followers for people that are just like at our shows and like, recording us going crazy and
Yeah.
posting it. So that goes into with that too.
Also, might we just say, for anybody who is going to be watching this, for all of our friends, thank everybody for coming out to our shows and having a great
Absolutely.
time, and thank all of your fans as well, Connor. We thank everybody because we want to bring each other together. We got to build each other up.
Yeah,
It's the only way to get up.
It is a community. It is. It's the
So-
only way.
Smother Nature. Can we get when can the people expect music, and where can the people find you?
So we are currently, dipping our toes in some studios, trying to find out which ones are right for us. We are definitely planning on having the taster EP out before the end of the year.
Within the year.
Yeah,
Within
and
the year.
that'll be everywhere.
And we do have we recently did a little like live recording session, affiliate of 2 songs.
So we might.
That'll
post some
be
snippets
the
of
actual first release of Smother Nature music.
Yeah, we're gonna be putting those out because they turn out really good. Shout out Cart Music, we love you.
Yeah.
I had a great
Shout
time.
out
Yeah.
Cart Music.
Okay.
So we're hoping to keep the hype
Yeah.
going, build this up. You can follow us at
Where?
Is it
at
Smother
Smother Nature
or Smother
Band,
Nature Band? Yeah.
It's
SMOTHERNATUREBAND. And you can find us on that on Facebook and Instagram at the moment. And we will soon have a website. If you check those out, we'll put the website in our bio and everything once we get it all figured out in these next couple of weeks.
Okay, and then who's a dream collab? I just want to end on that. Like, who do you want to open for?
Katy Perry.
I guess in between like Queens of the Stone Age and like Super Big and like where we all are, like we're somewhere like, you know what I mean? Do you have anyone off the top of your head where like we could actually open for them and we could befriend them and get them to take us on tour? Like, who is like a real
Blood.
Royal Blood.
Maybe,
Yeah.
I guess.
Royal Blood. They're getting pretty big though. So Royal Blood. Wand would be super cool.
Wand would be dope.
Yeah, Wand would be really cool.
The 2 bands that Mark won't shut up about are these days are Wand and Boris.
That's right. Boris would be so cool. Yeah, Boris has been around forever, and they are so genre breaking.
Do you know Melt Banana?
Yes, Melt Banana. Yes,
There you go.
that's a good one too.
We're having so much fun here, but we have to close the show out. So, ladies and gentlemen, once again, thank you for watching The Rock Show with Connor Farrell. Look at our new and improved intro and outro. I made these. Actually, it's much better. Suck on that, haters. Hater being my brother, who was like, that's lame. You have an acoustic guitar and you singing. It's lame. Make it cooler. And I did. It's very cool. Now look at the cool graphic I made. Okay, and follow at Smother Nature Band. Okay, bye!
Bye.